Hi everyone, Sabrina from Campbell's Freedom Farm, and let's talk Italian. Actually, namely the Italian cuisine. We're going to use our food to table tomatoes. We have the last of the aromas that I need to use. So, what I want to prepare for you is the 14th century cacciatore. Cacciatore? You mean chicken cacciatore? Well, the original cacciatore really didn't have chicken. It was used as a hunting dish. What happened is people had to travel between cities, they had to go hunting, they foraged, they collected, and usually they would grab the best smelling herbs, mushrooms, lots of mushrooms, onions, and if they were lucky, some type of fowl, maybe even a fish. And that was the original, authentic cacciatore. Now, everybody argues with me, no, cacciatore is with the spicy tomato. Yeah, the adjective, but I could prove mine. Okay, the cacciatore came from the 14th century. There were no tomatoes in Italy. Actually, they came more 15th and were used in the 16th century. So when they first came from the Spanish conquest, they ate the leaves, they got poisoned, died. So the tomato were just like poisonous. Why would you eat them? They were not in cacciatore. Then on top of that, they finally realized they could eat the tomato, the beautiful red fruit. They would serve them on pewter for the ones that could afford that. And again, they were poisoned because the acidity of a tomato really brought out the lead of the pewter dish. And again, they either died or were poisoned and made it. So the original authentic cacciatore does not have tomatoes. The one I prepared today and what people think of is the one I'm going to use the tomatoes. That was more 16th, really 17th century when they started using the tomatoes. And I'm also going to add chicken. Only the nobles really got the chicken. Everything else was wild caught. So again, you're going to see my hands. Let me show you how to make the current chicken cacciatore. I'll see you over there. Bye. All right, let's take about 6 of the large romas and let's throw in garlic, a whole clove, diced up, and diced up red onion. Any type of onion is welcome in this dish. The onions are original, really, to it. Now, what am I going to saute this with? Some olive oil, but of course. So I really want to add flavor to this, so let's really blend it together. Now, to really pull the flavor together, let's pull some of the seeds or just basil leaves and put it in there. Remember, all these herbs are original to the cacciatore. So thyme would be great. Obviously oregano. I mean, come on, it's an Italian dish. Basil, all of that. Anything that smells amazing went into this dish. Even wild carrots. All right, now while the tomatoes are sauteing, now we need to brown the chicken. So we really want to drench it with some olive oil and really heavily season it with salt and pepper. And then let it just brown. All right, let's take the cast iron pan that we're going to use in the oven. Put some olive oil in, and let's transfer the brown chicken into it. All right, using the pan that we just browned the chicken in, let's take all the mushrooms. I'm using the Baby Bella mushrooms, but they would have had a variety. And I'm taking my hand just to break it roughly into quarters and let them just get flavored in that pan. All right, here comes the wine on the chicken, roughly 1 to 2 cups. And I'm using red, but in Italy, sometimes they use the white, depending on the region that you're in. Now let's put all the tomatoes that had sauteed with the onions and the garlic and put it on top, and any drippings left with the mushrooms. Now this is optional, but I am adding 1 hot pepper and I'm just cutting it into thirds. And that will really add a slight heat to the dish. Then I'm throwing a bunch of fresh thyme on there, covering it and putting it in the oven for 1 hour at 350. Okay, the cacciatore has finished and it smells amazing. And it's just really beautiful. I wanted you to see it. Now, I know that the tomato isn't original to cacciatore. And, but I can't imagine not having it in there. I mean, this is such a humble and rustic dish. I don't know if I feel that way because of the history of it, or when you look at it, you just could see the flavor that comes out of it. It's perfect to warm you up on a really cool night. So let's taste it. Oh. Okay, the wine in there, you could really taste it. And the mushrooms and garlic, it just really pulls it together. So, if you try the chicken cacciatore or just cacciatore in general, think of the history and think of what it really was meant to do. It's the hunter's dish that collected all the herbs and it was all thrown in probably to a cast iron skillet, which always makes it taste amazing. This is Sabrina from Campbell's Freedom Farm. Have a wonderful day. I'm gonna go eat this.